What is up, guys? This is Rise, and I hope everyone had a lovely community day. We had some terrific weather over here in Wisconsin. Got to see some friends I hadn't seen in a little while. And we are testing out counter Poliwrath in the Open Ultra League. And before you say, Rise, the graphic says Ice Punch on the Poliwrath, and I see it's running Scalded Dynamic Punch in the game. What's going on? Relax, Marvin. I changed to Ice Punch at some point, and we're going to rock the Ice Punch Poliwrath as we land the Dynamic Punch here. And check out what happens in this moment. I decide I believe Poly's tanky enough to tank the Zap Cannon. I need to throw after 8. Otherwise, he's going to get off the Zap Cannon. So I throw at 8 here. This is actually a charge move priority with the Zap Cannon. He shields to get it off, and I get the 1 HP knockout through the shield. Unbelievable. Sorry if the volume was a little bit high when I did my little fake freak out there. But that 1 HP knockout through the shield changes the entire complexion of the game, because now we have the alignment we want, and we're up, or we're even shield. If we were down a shield in that situation, or like 1 versus 2, that could have been a little bit tricky, because Dragon Knight might have been able to pull off some shenanigans. Here we are, Pokémon. We face off against cute little Greedent, but not so cute for our team. Greedent beats our entire team here. So we're going to try and manage it as best as we can. And this is kind of the problem with running 2 Shadow Claw users. If you guys decide to try this team out for yourselves. I did like this team for the most part. But when you see a normal type, especially like a Snorlax lead, really uncomfortable. Because you just have no fast move pressure. And I don't really want to hard swap my Poly. Maybe hard swapping Poly is the better play. Lure something out, because the way the team is designed is you have your anti-flyer in the lead, and you've got 2 things weak to flying in the back. We swap Poly, and immediately I wanted to top left because I'm like, crap. Pokémon devastates me every time I play, because the more dominant he wins, the more likely he is to come into my chat and tell me good game, which just is the most devastating thing that can happen to somebody. When you just get absolutely wrecked and they come in to tell you good game, and you're just like, was it a good game? Or are you just coming to confirm that you took my soul in that last match in front of the 300 people watching? But Poliwrath actually forces a shield. I swap here. I figure he probably has the wherewithal to go for Aeroblast here, but I didn't really want to commit a shield in that situation, knowing that his other Pokemon had a move that he could combo play with. I come in with Pod, and here's Greedmeister. Greedy little Greedent, wagging his tail, looking all cute and cuddly, but causing us some issues. And Greedent just really putting on a clinic here. Gonna go for a liquidation. Not sure if this is enough. Not quite, but does give me a little extra farm. And then what's gonna be in back? It's Charizard. And Pokémon, me knowing this game is pretty much over, I go for a bait, and he calls it like an absolute savage. I looked it up afterwards, and liquidation does 67%, so it wouldn't have been enough. But maybe with like a debuff, the added fast move damage could have been enough. I don't know. Pokémon, as per usual, whenever he wins, made sure to come and chat and let me know that he won the game. Thank you, Pokémon. Much appreciated. I give Pokémon flack because he always does that to me when he wins. But I'm a big fan of the kid. He's one to watch out for at the World Championships. Go Pokémon. Go Spain. Opponent here makes a nice catch. Catches Ice Punch on their Tapu. So I'm already behind quite a bit in this scenario. But let's see if we can come back in this game, because that Wheezy has energy as well, which is going to be difficult to deal with. Surf's up, dude. Gonna get off another drill run here. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, like, how the heck am I going to get rid of that wheezing? I catch a Surf here, so this is something. This is something. Oh, crap. I remember this game now. Okay. So I go for the liquidation this time. Guarantee the shield or damage. I do get the debuff, which is kind of nice. Debating whether I want a shield or not. Decide to let it go. I believe this is against Gnaw Dog the Razor. We go for the X Scissor bait. And he actually shields. He lost count. So that gives us a chance here. I think we were toast, but a slight misplay there from Gnaw Dog gives us a chance. I mess up here. What would have been better would have been to shield to guarantee I get that off, but now this suddenly becomes uncomfortable. Because he still has the Tapu as a catch opportunity. In comes G-Weezy. And I'm going to pause it for a second. I have two pet peeves right now in Pokemon Go PvP. The two biggest malfunctions in the game that happen very consistently for me are when my Pokemon faints, I come in, and I'm a turn behind, which usually gives the opponent a free denial. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. The other pet peeve is when you know the opponent's only win condition is catching a move, and you wait, but when you stop tapping for even just a brief second, the game stops visually updating, and it takes away a lot of the skill in those situations and essentially punishes the player for being patient and making the correct play. So that's my other big pet peeve. Some of you might be wondering what exactly I mean by that. Some of you know exactly what I mean. So his only win condition here is catching on the Tapu Fini, and I'm well aware of that. So you're not seeing me tap Ice Punch, right? You're not seeing me tap Ice Punch right away. You're going to see me wait a second. And the Tapu Fini had already been in the game by the time I tapped it. So, really frustrating. I don't want to rewind too much, but really frustrating because you essentially get punished for making the right play, right? I wait, but I get punished for it. So it's always insult to injury. Whenever I feel like the state of the game takes away my win, I always get a comment in the chat saying, amazing game. And no disrespect to Gnaw Dog the Razor, because it was a good game, but, and that's out of his control, right? Just really unfortunate. That's my biggest pet peeve. So I have had the pleasure of meeting some of the people at Niantic that handle PvP, and that's just because I've lost a game at a regional before with that same thing. I know Magic Mason has been complaining about recently. He felt like in the Silph World Championship, I think it made the difference in one of his games. So yeah, just nothing worse than that. But enough complaining from Rise. I am glad all these transgressions have transpired in these first few battles, because in life, things are not always going to be easy. Things are not always going to go your way, and you need to try and overcome them. Are you going to allow the frustration to get the better of you? Are you going to allow people hard countering you, coming in a chat just to make sure they know that you know it was them that hard countered you, the game lagging, taking away your wins, and the person coming in to tell you how amazing they are, that they just beat you? Are you going to let that get to you? Are you just going to quit? Or are you going to keep playing out? So after I think we started 0-5, including 2 games where the universe was trying to annoy Rise, we had to calm down. I think I was completely silent for about 2 battles while I tried to compose my inner thoughts. And we're going to try and get some wins back on the board. Golisopod in here against Mr. Giratina. And in comes the Swampert. Kind of awkward, right? Kind of awkward. Because the switch clocks are very much misaligned. This is a good matchup for me, but I'm in Hydro Cannon range, so it's like I kind of want to dip out at some point. Dip into Poly. And at this point, I don't care anymore. I don't care about the world. I'm calling the bait. I'm calling the bait. When you've lost so many games, I mean, so many games. We had an 0-5 set. It's not like it's the end of the world, but you're just willing to make calls. Like, I'm just not going to bother shielding a Hydro Cannon bait. Mr. Giratina comes back in. We're one off the Ice Punch. I get it off just to guarantee I knock him out, and we should be in a good spot. Swampert just unloaded like 2 Hydro Cannons in quick succession, so I should be able to simply counter down before he could ever get to 2, since I have a shield. And we break the losing skid. We break the losing skid. Here we go. Jesus, the next opponent. Sandslash into Swampert. Okay. If I remember this game correctly, you're going to see me misplay this game pretty poorly. And I think I was getting a little bit cocky, thinking I could, like, catch here. When in reality, the better play is just switch right away. That's the safer play. Because in comes Sandslash, so he didn't have a hard punish or really an answer at all to Golisopod. And I gave him an unnecessary advantage by staying in for so long and allowing Swampert to stay in a bad matchup. So I would have been much better off just swapping Golisopod straight away. Gonna go for the second liquidation here. I presume he's gonna shield. Oh no, he gives me switch. Interesting. But now he's got tons of energy. So what do I do here? Yeah, I've got to presume Poly. Really obvious bait opportunity for the opponent with all shields still in play. So mistake by me. I settle for Ice Punch. You could argue maybe I should have at least built up to Dynamic Punch to threaten it, because now he can simply do that. And here's Charizard, and this does not look good for us. I am going to make sure I build up the Scald to threaten the potential Scald. Ice Punch does grab a shield for us. The one good thing here is Charizard can't knock us out with a charge move there. So we're going to get off this Ice Punch, probably draw the last shield. Combo play, and we have the double Ice Punch. And that's massive. I had kind of lost track of the Charizard's energy, so I don't know if he could have Blast Burned us there. We're able to escape with the win. However, despite escaping with the win, I feel like simply swapping Golisopod would have been the better play straight away. Here, we're, of course, going to swap Golisopod straight away. This is a terrible lead. But what they swap into isn't too bad. Skuntank, we can probably win the Zero Shield. After seeing how much Liquidation does just about half. So I decide, you know, if I go down shields, that Virizion could just sweep me. So at this point, I'm thinking, like, maybe I just go for shield advantage. So that's what we do. We get shield advantage. Knowing that Skuntank has access to Flamethrower, I don't want to come in with Skuntank, which could potentially get one shot. So luckily they crunch. There's no Sludge Bomb, excuse me. In comes Virizion. And we have a lot of energy and a shield advantage, so this isn't terrible. Virizion throws on good timing. Opponent's got like 2 Leaf Blades at this point. They go for Sacred Sword, which is smart, like in case I catch. And they know I kind of have to respect it. Another Ice Punch lands. And suddenly I'm like, huh, I can shield and counter down. I'm going to be down a shield, but then I've got a 2-on-1. And it's his own Sandslash in the back. And here, I'm able to identify just the very simple win con of throw the Dynamic Punch, get the shield, swap, and Sandslash actually does live a drill run in the Ultra League quite comfortably. So I know I can simply get the shield, switch. I think I over-tapped there. Don't call me out, chat. But we land the move. And we get the win. I do have to call out the chatters and the comments from today when I was streaming these battles. I don't think I went a single game or like a single 50-second span without somebody asking, why no Scald? Why no Power-Up Punch? Like, bro, Poliwrath has multiple viable movesets. When we were running Scald, everyone wanted Ice Punch, and we switched to Ice Punch. People started asking, why no Scald? Multiple viable movesets. Is one moveset the best? I personally found this one, Counter Ice Punch, Dynamic Punch, the best out of what I tried out. But I don't think there's one correct answer. Pokemon Go PvP, not an exact science all the time. Sometimes, gotta figure things out. We get a terrific lead and a really solid safe swap here. This matchup was, this is actually a huge difference with Counter, because this was not the most comfortable matchup with Mudshot. Our opponent just let it go, which is kind of surprising, because now, like, they're not going to comfortably get rid of Poly. They're going to have to throw a Claw eventually. They're going to have to eat a few Ice Punches as well. But yeah, like the Snorlax matchup, Dynamic Punch wouldn't one-shot from the Mudshot damage before. So Snorlax could outpace the 2 Body Slams. And I could be wrong, but I want to say Snorlax actually wins that matchup, at least in certain scenarios. But now with Counter, you saw how much more reliable the matchup was. And just a pretty RPS game. So, if you were that opponent, and you guys get tired of me complaining about my personal issues with GG's after hard counter games, like, how would that opponent feel if I messaged them GG's exclamation point, well played, after that game? Like, what plays were there for them to make? They got completely hard countered. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Terrific lead, and also our opponent is staying in a bad matchup here, which tells us he's probably double weak to Alolan Sandslash. So we're in a pretty good spot, and we want to consider preserving our Sandslash after we're able to win this matchup, or presuming we win this matchup. Another Moonblast lands. I want to maximize my energy. Right here, I was a little bit nervous that it wouldn't KO and I'd let him get the Moonblast off. Even though Moonblast wouldn't KO, I do want to make sure I come out of this with, like, energy or health. He comes in with Cobalion. And expecting the Stone Edge, I do put up a shield. Kind of awkward, because I'm not sure double liquidation is enough. So he's going to have an opportunity here to get both of my shields when I might not even get any of his shields, as you're going to see. And suddenly I'm put in a tricky spot. Like, do I use my final shield and go down 2 shields, or do I let it go? I decide to use it, so I've got a 3-on-2 fast, 3-on-1 fast break basically. But I'm down 2 shields, and unfortunately against the Dragonite, this is a situation where if I had let it go, I probably would have been better off, because I could have gotten off 2 Ice Punches with Slash, and then I would have been in the 0 shield scenario, Poliwrath against Dragonite. But we're going to still play this out. Dragonite is forced to throw a Claw, so that's something. Check out how on point this opponent was with their energy counting. Throws on CMP after 6 Dragon Breaths here. And the Dragon Claw is just enough to knock us out. And I'm like, oh man, this is brutal. Opponent's win con is getting to 2 moves here on the Dragonite. I'm nervous because I'm thinking he's probably not throwing unless he has 2 moves. But when it's a superpower, then I was like, oh, maybe he's only getting to 1. And we're able to win despite a scary call there. Dragonite almost sweeping 3 Pokemon with a 2 shield advantage. Next battle, Tapu Fini. Whole team is like okay against Tapu. I consider Sandslash pretty even. Golisopod's fairly even. And then Poly probably, I would say, a negative matchup, but not the worst in the world, because it's really just the Moonblast, right? That's threatening Poly. So even though Poly is kind of walled by Tapu, Tapu has to land a move that it takes it a long time to get to really threaten. Drill Run lands. And we make a nice catch here on the Surf. If you guys run this team, which I do recommend trying it out if you want, it is important to swap Golisopod more often than not. Because if you don't catch like a Flyer in the lead, or like a Registeel, for example, There's a lot of Pokemon that I feel like kind of counter both Golisopod and Poly that you'd want to lure out with Golisopod. Here I throw the Dynamic Punch right away in case he doesn't throw right away. So it's like either I take it out before it gets off a move, or I shield and counter all the way down. I'm going to come out of here with a boatload of energy. What is in the back? Giratina. And we've got many Ice Punches. A multitude of Ice Punches. I guess just 2 and a little residual. Not a multitude. Farming up. He stores about a Dragon Claw worth of energy. I lost track of energy here. I was like, I thought it was a Surf. Like, I didn't think he had Moonblast energy, but I shield anyway. Just kind of doubting myself. Here, this ends up being kind of dumb. Like, I wanted to come out with, like, around 2 Ice Punches, but I let him get to a Surf in the process, which might put me into Dragon Claw range. Luckily, I'm not quite in Dragon Claw range, so I should be okay. But if that Surf had put me into Dragon Claw range, I might have lost this game. Because, like, let's say this knocked out, and I didn't get this off to get the final shield. Then things would have been pretty dicey. Because he still would have had a shield right here, but things worked out. Slash says bye-bye, Gira. And we get the win. And is that all she wrote, folks? That's all she wrote. We get a little Wooloo as a reward. And I didn't even realize, but I think I hit 132 on the global GBL leaderboard. So, I don't know, man. GBL has been a little bit stressful lately. I feel like whenever I play on stream, I'm like getting hard countered a lot. But off stream, I've been able to climb pretty well. I climbed like 300 points over the weekend. Just taking a little break from streaming all my battles. And we're at 3247, as you saw. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Really fun team. Poliwrath, what's the consensus? I think Ultra League, really solid pick. Counter helps it out in a lot of matchups. Helps its consistency. When you have reliable fast move pressure, I think that really helps the consistency of a Pokemon where it's going to perform well in a lot more matchups versus relying on charge moves, which can at times be incredibly valuable to like sweep a game if you got a boatload of energy or like bank a move quicker. But yeah, counter just so good. I think most people agree it's the best fast move of the game. Some people argue Shadow Claw is better, but I think they're 1 and 2. I would personally put counter number 1, Shadow Claw number 2. They're both great fast moves. And this team only includes those 2 fast moves. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like on the video. Comment down below. All comments are appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And all that said, thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.